everybody, and welcome to day one of our indoor walking workout for weight loss. For today's class, you just need your nice open space around you, your favorite walking shoes, making sure the laces are done up tight, make sure there's no tripping hazards, your water nearby, and access to a chair if you need for balance. As we go through, remember to listen to your body and modify whenever needed. Let's get started with that warm-up. Hi everyone, and welcome to the warm-up. So let's get our body ready for today's class. We're just going to stand up nice and tall here. Feet are just underneath your hips, toes are facing forward. Bring your hands to your hips, and you can always grab a wall or chair for balance if you need. And we're just going to lift one heel up at a time, just kind of warming up our feet a little bit. Good. Try and keep equal pressure through both of your feet as you do this. Good. Kind of warming up those feet, getting them moving, stretching them out. Good. Try and keep those hips level. Awesome. All right, now we're going to do a few shoulder rolls here. So just rolling those shoulders back. You got it. Making it as big or as small as you need. Kind of bending our knees a little bit in between rolls. Awesome. Let's do one more. Good. Shake those guys out. All right, let's start to warm up our heart a little bit. We're going to be doing some side steps. Good stuff. So just warming up those lateral movements. We will be doing those in class today. All right, after one more, we're going to find stillness here. And we're going to work into a little bit of rotation. So you're just going to stretch those arms, kind of swinging them forward, slow and controlled. And you're allowing your rib cage to kind of rotate side to side, just like it does when walking, right? We have that nice rotation here. So just staying in a comfortable range. Good job. Letting that body twist. Keeping the shoulders relaxed as you do this. You don't want them up in your ear. Good. And now for this next one here, bring your feet just underneath your hips. You might want to hold onto the chair or wall for balance for this guy. And we're just going to go right into some heel raises. So you're just going to lift up onto the toes, lower back down. Warming up those calves, strengthening them a little bit. Good work. One more. Nice job. All right, now it's time to march on the spot. Warm up that heart a little bit more. Get that blood pumping. Increasing that heart rate just a little bit here. Awesome. So let's check our posture. So heart is open to the front, so you're just sliding those shoulder tips east and west, crown of the head's pulling to the ceiling, belly button's gently drawn towards your spine, and you're nice and stacked here. Good job. Another thing to be mindful of in our class is the talk test. So once we get into our workout, you should be able to talk throughout the exercises. You should be able to say more than 3 words, but probably not sing. So if you're able to belt out a song, it's too easy. And if you're not able to say more than 3 words, bring down the intensity. So that's going to be our talk test for class. All right, let's add in some arms for another 30 seconds here. Good. So every time we add those upper body movements, it increases the intensity a little bit. So that's a good way to modify through class, is to just drop the upper body at any time. Good job. And as we go through any of the movements in today's class, remember you can use a wall or chair for balance as needed. Probably the back of a chair would be good, and just make the movement smaller if you need. All right, shake out those arms, shake out those legs, grab a quick sip of water, and let's get into our workout. All right, now that we're nice and warm, let's get started with our workout for today's class. So we're gonna do 5 different exercises 4 times through. And remember, when in doubt, march it out, catch your breath. Let's get started. So we're gonna start marching forward on the spot with a little knee drive and then back. So 1, 2, 3, knee, back, 2, 3, knee. Good job. And that knee drive doesn't need to be big. Can be as big or small as you make it. Round 1, it's just kind of figuring out all the exercises. How do they feel in our body? All right, we're gonna switch it up here. We're gonna do step together, step, clap, and then other way. Nice, so again, as big or small as you need. Step together and clap. One more each way. Good. Then we're going to bring our feet in line with our knees, and we're just going to squat down, come up, little heel raise. So you might want to use the back of the chair for this one. If you would like some balance assistance, you just hold it in front of you. As you squat down, those knees stay in line with your toes. And as you go into that heel raise, you try and keep those ankles straight right over those toes. Good. And to modify, you just make that squat a little bit less low, so a little higher. Good job. All right, we're gonna switch it up into a hamstring curl now. So pulling those heels towards your butt. Good job. You can bring some arms into this one if you'd like and kind of pump them back and forth. You got it. See, it goes by so quickly. And then for the last exercise in this round, we're just gonna march it out on the spot. And this is a good opportunity to catch your breath, grab some water if you need, take a little breather. We'll do it at the end of every round, 30 seconds of marching. Good job. Now's a good opportunity to try that talk test. So can you say a full sentence like, I love exercising, it's so fun? If you can't say more than 3 words, then maybe bring down the intensity this next round. All right, let's get back into it. Round 2, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, knee, 1, 2, 3, knee. Good job. 1, 2, 3, knee. You got it. After this, we go into step together, step, touch. One more forward, one more back. Here we go. Step together and clap. And my pace, I'm just a guide. You can go faster or slower. We have that squat with a heel raise coming up, so find that chair if you need it. Last one. All right, and then let's set up here. We're gonna go squat to raise. Good. Lengthening that spine as you sit back into that imaginary chair, and then growing tall as you lift those heels. Good work. Last one. All right, let's do those hamstring curls. Arms are optional. They increase the intensity. You got it. And let's march on the spot. Catch your breath. Nice job. How did that go? Round 2, done. We are halfway through our workout here. You're doing great. So now's that opportunity to check in, maybe reset the posture, shoulders relaxed, crown of the head to the ceiling, belly button to spine. Pause and grab water if you need. All right, let's get back into it. Marching forward, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and knee. Back and knee. 1, 2, 3, knee, step back. Nice work. And we're gonna go into that step together, step touch after. Let's go forward one last time. Here we go. Step together and clap. You got this. Round 3, looking strong. All right, come to the center. We're gonna squat and heel lift. Good job. Keeping those knees right in line with your toes. Squatting to comfort. Good. Almost feeling like you're screwing your feet into the floor as you're squatting down to keep that good alignment there. Can you do one more? And then into those hamstring curls. Curl and curl. So you're just pulling that heel towards your butt. Good. Check in with your talk test. Can you say a nice full sentence out loud? And remember, it's okay if you can't sing, but you should be able to say a full sentence. All right, and then we're just gonna march on the spot here, letting that heart rate come back down and breathing. All right, we have our last round coming in. How are we feeling? Pause and grab water if you need. You got this. When in doubt, march it out, catch your breath. All right, we're gonna start that traveling going forward in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and knee. Doesn't matter what side you're doing that knee drive. I've kind of been switching it up between the rounds. You got it. Awesome. Last one forward and then step together and touch. Good job. So if you're repeating the course, the goal would be to kind of start to go through the workout with fewer and fewer breaks. As your cardiovascular fitness improves. So you don't have to do everything perfect all at once. Awesome. One more time here, and then we're going to line up that squat. We're going to go down, heel raise. Nice. And of course, for these more strength-based movements, like a squat, we're in for quality over quantity. So slow and controlled is the name of the game. Last one. Good job. Let's go into that hamstring curl. Good. Shoulders relaxed out of the ears. Push and pull those arms if you'd like. Put in the work here. You got it. You're almost done. And let's march it out on the spot. Whew. So this is our last march before we float into that cool down. So you can make it nice and slow. Start to catch your breath. Good job. Grab some water if you need. And we're just going to slowly bring that heart rate back down as we get into that cool down shortly. Awesome job. All right. Great work. You crushed this workout. I'll see you in the cool down. All right, let's cool it back down here. So we're just going to do a gentle march on the spot, letting that heart rate come down naturally. Little swing of the arms, just something small. Good. Allow your breathing rate to slow down gradually. Good. This is our cardio cool down here. All right, now we're just going to add a little bit of rotation here. So just letting those arms gently swing, gently rotating your body, letting that rib cage move, and just taking long, deep breaths. Soft bend in those knees. Softness through your shoulders. Good. All right, if you don't feel like your heart rate's down enough that you could talk a full-on sentence, then maybe just keep marching it out, or you can get into our first stretch here where we're just going to stretch out our calf so you can hold onto a wall or chair for balance if you'd like. Press that heel down into the ground. Try and stretch the back knee and bending the front. Of course, only going to a point of tension, not pain. And we're really trying to feel a stretch through here. So the back of the lower leg. Awesome. Let's switch sides. So pressing that other leg back, heel towards the ground. It's okay if it doesn't touch. And then just do your best to straighten that back knee, bending the front. Good job. One more deep breath here. And exhale. Stand it up. All right, we're going to stretch the front of the legs now. So holding onto a wall or chair, you're going to reach towards your foot or the back of your shoe, and you're going to hold on there, drawing the knees together, pressing the hips forward. Now, if you can't reach, that is totally okay. You're just going to take a towel or a belt, loop it around your ankle, and hold on to the back of there. So you can pause the video and grab what you need. Good, and only going to a point of tension, not pain, feeling that stretch here. Good job. And when you're ready, you can switch sides here. So holding onto the wall or chair, drawing the knees together, holding the ankle, foot, or that towel or belt. Good job. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Slowly let that foot down. Great job. All right, take a nice deep breath in. Reach those arms out to the side of the room. And exhale. Give yourself a high five. Great job today. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and I can't wait to see you next time.